I'm Annabelle Carmel and I'm in my kitchen in London. Now they say that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and it's true because you won't have eaten for about 12 hours, and so you need to kickstart your brain. And I love to make muffins for breakfast. Now these are great, they're easy if your child's on the run and on the way to school, they can take them with them. And I'm going to share how to make some apple and carrot muffins. These are one of my particular favourites. So I start off with some wholemeal flour, put that into a bowl. And I'm going to add here, we've got some non-fat milk powder, and to flavour it some cinnamon, some ginger, pinch of salt, some granulated sugar and some baking powder. So I'm going to pop that into the bowl and mix it all together. So those are your dry ingredients. Muffins are just so easy to make. So if you've never baked anything before, don't be afraid. And a good way to start is to make muffins. You don't even need a mixer to make this. Very easy. Then I'm going to crack 2 eggs. Okay, so I've got 2 eggs. And I'm going to add to that some vegetable oil and some granulated sugar. Just whisk that all together. And then I'm going to add to that as well the flavourings of some honey and maple syrup. I love the taste of maple syrup. And some pure vanilla essence. It's really worth buying the pure vanilla essence. It has a much nicer taste than the one with all the artificial ingredients. So mix that together well. And then I'm going to add my healthy bits, which are my grated carrot, full of vitamins, grated apple, put that all in there, stir that in. So as I say, really easy to make, no mixer, just simply mixing these 2 bowls together. Put that together now. And then I'm going to just add my raisins. Raisins are really good, they're full of iron, very good for your child. So you've got vegetables, fruit in there and wholemeal flour. And then you combine these together. Now the secret of a good muffin mix is actually not to mix it too well. It should be a bit lumpy when it goes into the oven. Because if you mix it too well, it tends to become quite heavy. So if you want a light muffin, just mix it until it's just combined, but not too much. So we can put all the honey in. So I can just get that in there. Okay, mix that together. Okay, this is going to make probably about 12 muffins. So very simple, that's it. I mean the whole thing from start to finish, take you less than 10 minutes. Then I'm going to get a muffin tray, which I have lined with some paper cases. And what's nice about these muffins, why I like them particularly, is because they're very, very moist. And what makes them moist is the grated carrot and the grated apple. So you fill it till it's about 2/3 full. They're going to rise up because they've got baking powder in them. And that makes 12. I'm going to bake them in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 to 25 minutes. And they're going to be beautifully golden, absolutely divine.
Speed. Off yet.
Well, here they are, and they come up perfectly every time. They're really quick and easy to make, and they're nutritious, and they make the most perfect breakfast on the go for the whole family. Hi, I'm Annabelle Carmel, and I'm in my kitchen in London. It's back to school time, and that means back to packing lunchboxes. And I've got 3 children, so I know what a daily grind it can be. And how many peanut butter and jelly sandwiches can you actually make before even you get bored with making them? So in my new book, Favourite Family Meals, I've got some great ideas for having something a little bit different but tasty and nutritious in your child's lunchbox that won't be returned to sender. So here are some of my ideas in the book. Threading something onto a skewer or a straw is a really good tip because children want something that's quick and easy to eat. But my favourite thing to put in my child's lunchbox and something they really love is my turkey pasta salad with a honey soy sauce vinaigrette. Now this you've got to try. So I'm going to show you how to make my favourite turkey pasta salad. Now I've cooked up some pasta already and I'm just going to chop some turkey, and you can probably buy this in your local supermarket or deli. Some nice turkey breast. Or you can make your own chicken. You can pop chicken breast into some stock and just poach it in the stock. It's really nice and very tender if you do that. So you can make this with chicken or turkey, depending on what you like. But it's quick and easy if you buy it in the supermarket. So I'll pop that into the bowl. Nice cooked turkey. And we mix that together with the cooked pasta. Now I'm going to take some scallions and just slice these thinly. I think pasta salads are a great way of having something a little bit different than a sandwich because it gives your child carbohydrate and vegetables and protein all in one meal. Especially nice when it's hot because sometimes the bread gets really kind of hard and stale, whereas this keeps lovely and moist. And what you can do is you can put the dressing into a separate container so your child can pour over the dressing just before eating it so it doesn't go all soggy. Pop the scallions in there. And then I steamed a little bit of broccoli just until it's just tender but not soft. So it's got this lovely bright green colour. Then I've got some canned sweet corn, which I'll pop in there, and some halved cherry tomatoes, which I'll pop in there. And then if you want to, it's optional, but I've got some toasted sesame seeds. And to toast these, you just toast them in a dry frying pan, you don't need any oil. I think they add a really nice flavour. And then my secret ingredient is my delicious dressing, which children absolutely love. Now for that, you take 3 tablespoons of light olive oil, a tablespoon of soy sauce, and 2 tablespoons of honey. Really nice, kind of sweet and sour. It's really lovely. It goes really well with pasta and vegetables. Children really love this. And then just a little bit of lemon juice into that. Okay. Very quick, very easy to make. Now you could make this the night before, you don't have to do it in the morning. We're all rushing around trying to get our children out of bed. No, I don't want to get up, Mummy, I'm too tired. It's all like that in my house. So you don't want to be fiddling around with this in the morning. So make this the night before. And then we just dress it. Well, we would dress it if we're going to eat it straight away, or we might dress it later and put it in a separate container for our kids to dress it. Toss that all together. Look at those wonderful colours. And it tastes just as good as it looks. Let me just try this piece of turkey here. Oh, so good. We've got to try that one. It's really good. So nice. So there you have it. It's quick, simple and wonderfully nutritious. And not just for a child's lunchbox, but it makes a great meal for the whole family.
Parenting tips. What is the right age to introduce solid foods to your baby? Pediatricians' recommendations change from time to time. At the moment, baby experts recommend introducing solid foods to a baby who is 6 months old, can sit up, and has doubled his birth weight. Nutritionists recommend starting your baby with root vegetable purees because they are naturally sweet. The best fruits for your baby to eat first are apples and pears because they are easy to digest. It is a good idea to introduce one vegetable or fruit at a time, so it is easier to discover if your baby has any food allergies. Try each fruit or vegetable for 3 days in a row before switching to another. Cow's milk should be introduced later since it can be very allergenic. Eating from a spoon is very different from sucking, so your baby might need time to adjust. It is very likely that at first your baby will spit up everything. Be patient. Different children have different tastes, so just keep trying with different foods. Between 9 and 18 months, your baby will learn how to feed herself. Here's how to encourage her. At 9 months, you'll notice your baby holding the bottle longer or move on to a training cup. She will enjoy smearing foods and be happy trying to use utensils. Let your baby experiment with utensils, but make sure they are plastic coated and baby safe, so that she doesn't hurt herself. To encourage your baby to feed himself, give him mashed foods like peas or beans, or lumpy foods like oatmeal, which are easy for him to eat. At around 1 year of age, your baby may start picking food off your plate and exploring self-feeding. At this stage, you can offer your baby finger foods and training cups. He might spill some, but that's all part of learning. If your baby is walking already, he might not sit still at dinner time. Yet try to include your baby at all your meals and encourage his exploration.
Hi, I'm Annabelle Carmel, and I'm in my kitchen in London. And I want to show you how easy it is to make fresh food for your baby. So I'm going to be showing you some recipes from my new book, 100 Top Baby Purees. So what's wrong with baby food in a jar anyway? Well, take a look at this and look at the expiry date. Now this is designed to last for 2 years past the date of purchase. But that's not exactly the fresh that you intended to feed your baby. And that's not the worst of it, because food like this is bland and tasteless. And how are you going to get your baby to enjoy eating food if they start off with food that has no taste to begin with? So I'd like to show you what are the best first foods for your baby. Well, I like to start off with root vegetable purees because they're naturally sweet. And babies are used to sweet taste because breast milk is sweet. So something like sweet potato makes wonderful first baby food. Or butternut squash, or carrots, or potato. Something about potato that worries people is that when you actually puree potato in a blender, it comes out really sticky because you break down the natural starches and they come all glutinous. So it's worth getting something like this, which is called a baby food mill. When you puree the potato in here, it comes up all nice and soft, but without being sticky. And this is also good for foods like dried apricots or peas, which have like tough outer husks. Now what I like to do with something like a sweet potato is to steam it, because by steaming you preserve the nutrients. So what I do is cut up the sweet potato, pop it in here and cook it for about 12 to 15 minutes until it's soft, and then puree it in a blender. And you don't need to be cooking every day, because what you can do is you can freeze your puree in ice cube trays like these. So you can freeze about 8 or 10 portions for your baby, then cover them with a lid, and you've got your own delicious but very good quality baby food, not with any thickeners or additives, and you know exactly what's gone into it. Now when you come to fruits, the best first fruits to your baby are apples and pears because they're easy to digest and they're unlikely to provoke any allergies in your baby. And these are very easy to cook. And what you can do is, when you freeze your apple and you freeze your pear, if you want to make combinations, you can take 1 frozen cube of apple, 1 frozen cube of pear, heat it in a saucepan or in a microwave until it's really quite hot, stir it, let it cool down, and then you've got apple and pear puree for your baby. And you can do that with lots of different combinations like carrot and apple, butternut squash and pear, so you can mix and match things together. Now one of these is avocado. Avocado is fantastic because this is full of really good fats, and babies need fats in their diet because they grow more rapidly in their first year than any other time in their life. And this is full of monounsaturated fats, which are very good for us. And another good no baby puree is banana. What you can do is mix and match again. For example, banana and avocado actually go really well together for babies. Or something like papaya, that makes fantastic no-cook baby food. So I hope this has given you the inspiration to go into the kitchen and make fresh baby food for your baby. Not only is it the best quality baby food, but you're doing yourself a favour because in the end, if you start with fresh food And then you try and get your child onto family food. It's a much easier transition than if you were to give bland processed purees for a whole year and then try and get them to eat the food you're giving the rest of your family, because they're not used to the fresh taste of foods. So this is the best way to start your baby onto a good diet.
Making homemade baby food is easier than you think. And it's healthy for your baby. Nutritionists recommend starting your baby with root vegetable purees because they are naturally sweet and babies are used to sweet taste from breast milk. So, your first baby purees can be potatoes, sweet potato, carrots, or butternut squash. Here are a few easy steps to fresh, healthy baby food. Cut the vegetables of your choice into squares. Steam them for 12 to 15 minutes until soft. Puree in a blender and it's ready. You don't have to cook every day. Simply freeze the pureed food in an ice cube tray and thaw only what you need for each meal. You can steam and puree many fruits and vegetables. You can even mix them to give your baby a variety of flavors. The best first fruits for your baby are apples and pears because they are easy to digest and are not likely to provoke any allergies. If you give your baby fresh purees, he is likely to transition more easily to foods your whole family eats.
I've got 3 children, and if your children are anything like mine, they're going to eat more between meals than they do at meal times, which is extremely annoying. So I'm going to show you some healthy snacks from my book, Favourite Family Meals. And I think it's a really good idea to have something ready for them. Like when they come home from school, it's a great time because they're really starving. Why not make something like these really healthy carrot and apple muffins? Or a wrap. This is a chicken Caesar wrap. But I also want to show you some fun snacks. So I'm going to show you something to make with bagels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this bagel in half and then cut it in half again. And I've made up 2 toppings. You'll see on these bagel halves I've put some egg mayonnaise. That's just chopped hard-boiled egg with some mayonnaise, a little bit of white wine vinegar, and some salad cress or some alfalfa sprouts. And over here, I've got a really tasty topping. It's very easy to make. It's tuna, which I've drained, and I've mixed it together with some yogurt and some tomato ketchup and some finely sliced scallions. You could use creme fraiche instead of Greek yogurt if you can find it. It's really good in that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these halved bagels, and I'm going to put on top of it this yummy tuna topping. Tuna's a really good nutritious food for children, and they tend to like it, so it's great in sandwiches. Okay. So this is where the fun starts, and you start to arrange the bagels in the shape of a reptile. So we're actually going to make these into the shape of a snake. So this is the snake's head, and this is the body. Right, and I'm just going to cut a little piece of bagel here to make the tail. I'll put some more of that yummy tuna on top. Of course, you can make these as long as you want. It's also great party food for a party because kids love bagels. You can put that on there. Okay. And now to decorate it, we're going to take some cherry tomatoes, cut them in half, and pop them on to make it a spotted snake. And over here. And then for the egg mayonnaise, I'm going to take some chives and cut these into short lengths. Make little crosses on the egg mayonnaise. That's it. And then the finishing touch is the face. Don't forget which end is the face. That's the face. Okay, so you're going to have 2 eyes over here made with a stuffed olive. So These sliced stuffed olives. Pop these on here. And then a fork tongue, which I've cut from a sweet pepper. Stick in here. And a little bit of celery leaf for the tail. And that literally takes a few minutes to put together, but that could be the difference between your child eating a bagel or not eating it, because presentation is so important to children. It's eye appeal. I mean, I don't know about you, but very often children just won't take the first mouthful. They say they don't like it, they actually haven't even tasted it, which is really frustrating for us. But if you make it look appealing, then you're much more likely to get your child to take the first taste. And that's very important, because sometimes they don't know what they like until they've tried it. Hi, I'm Annabelle Carmel and I'm in my kitchen in London. And I'm going to show you one of my favourite recipes from my book, Favourite Family Meals. Now this is a particularly attractive recipe, so it's great for parties or for a special occasion. They're my buzzy bees and my children absolutely love them. And it's a really fun recipe to make with your child. And my daughter Lara loves peanut butter, so it's one of her particular favourite recipes. And the good thing about these is that not only do they look good, they're packed full of nutritious ingredients. So what's gone inside them is some honey. I'm going to pop into this bowl. So about a tablespoon of honey. And then a 1/4 cup of smooth peanut butter, which I'm going to mix together with the honey. And I'm going to add some shredded wheat. Now that's really healthy to put in here. So I scrunch that up. Kids will love to do this. They love scrunching things up in their hands. And the great thing is also that it doesn't need any cooking. And they last for a while, these too. Well, they don't last because they get eaten, but they would last. Right, pump these. So mix that all together. So you've got your honey and your peanut butter and your shredded wheat. And I've got some more yummy, nutritious ingredients to put in there. I have got some sesame seeds. These are very good for you. These are actually a really good source of calcium. So a tablespoon of sesame seeds. Put that in there. And some non-fat milk powder. A couple of tablespoons of this. Put that in there. And that is all you need to make this. Really simple. Very easy, very quick. And they don't need to be stored in the fridge or anything, you know, to begin with. You just can eat them straight away. Scrunch that all down. And the decorating part is probably the most fun. Okay, now I'm going to just put my paws in here and scrunch it together to make the shape of a bee. Okay, so once I've molded it into the shape of a bee, the fun part starts, because I'm going to decorate it. What I'm going to do is get some water here and dip a toothpick into the water. And then dip that into some cocoa powder. I do it into the water first because then it kind of sticks to the stick, otherwise it kind of falls off. And this is going to make the stripes on the bee. So I just go 1. And then for the wings, I'm going to use some flaked almonds, but I make a little indentation first in the side of the bee to stick the wings into. So you can buy these in most supermarkets. And then to finish off, I just put 2 currants into the face for the eyes of the bee. Okay. And let's pop him over here next to his friends. So how's that for a fun snack for your child? And it's so easy to put together, but I bet you're going to have your children buzzing around for loads more. Hi, I'm Annabelle Carmel and I'm in my kitchen in London. And I'm going to be showing you how to make and decorate cupcakes. Now these recipes are all from my book, The Mum and Me Cookbook, which is Kids in the Kitchen, how to have fun with your child in the kitchen. And it's a great way of bonding with your child and teaching them things like counting and measuring and time, all without them noticing. Now who hasn't got memories of making cupcakes when they were a little child? I certainly have. And these were one of my favourites. Now these are teddy bear cupcakes and they're so easy to make. Now you take an ordinary cupcake recipe, which is so easy to do. It's just butter, self-rising flour, superfine sugar, 2 eggs and a teaspoon of vanilla essence, all just beaten together in the same bowl, and then cooked in the oven for about 20 minutes. Now to make these, what you're going to need is some tubes of writing icing, which you can buy in the supermarket, and some M&Ms, some gumdrops, and some chocolate buttons. So I'm going to make the eyes. I'm going to use these tubes of writing icing, which you find in the supermarket, and they're great to use as glue. So I'm going to use these to stick the M&Ms on for the teddy bear's eyes. I'm going to put 2 little blobs of red writing icing onto my cupcake. Then I'm going to choose some turquoise eyes here. Whoops, top of here. And then I'm going to add a gumdrop for the nose. Put that on here. And I'm going to add some ears, which are chocolate buttons. You can often find these in the cake decorating section of the supermarket, because it often uses melting chocolate if you can't find them anywhere else. And then I'm going to take a tube of black writing icing. I'm going to pop little dots of black writing icing onto the M&Ms to make the pupils for the eyes. It's good fun. These are so easy to use, even young children can do this. And I'm going to make a little mouth here for the teddy bear. There we go. Now that is quite a fabulous fun. So teddy bears aren't the only animals you can make out of cupcakes. How about these marshmallow sheep? I just love these. These are made out of big marshmallows and mini marshmallows, and I've covered the cupcake in frosting. You can buy ready-made frosting, and then I stuck the mini marshmallows all the way around, and I made the face out of a big marshmallow with some features made out of black writing icing. But I want to show you something that's really simple and easy, and that's how to make a piggy cupcake. So we'll take one of these cupcakes here, and we've got some frosting. I'm going to colour the frosting pink with a little bit of edible pink food colouring. Now this colouring goes a long way, so what you think is a little bit actually ends up being quite strong. Let's have a look at this. So, what I've got in here is frosting, which you can make yourself with softened butter and confectioner's sugar mixed together, or you can buy frosting in pots in the supermarket. And then you can just colour it yourself, whatever colour you want. So as I said, it goes a long way. So you've got nice pink frosting for my pink piggies. Right, so there we go. So it's your frosting. Then you cover the cupcake with this pink frosting over here. It's very simple. We've actually got a whole cupcake farm here with pigs, sheep, puppy dogs and teddy bears. I'm not sure what they're doing on the farm, but anyway. Okay, so now I'm going to take a pink marshmallow and I'm going to cut it in half here, and I'm going to stick it in the middle for the pig's snout. And then I'm going to take another marshmallow and cut it in half again. This is going to be the ears for the piggy. Cut it in half, it's not really sticky. And half again. Stick them on the side here. The good thing about them being sticky is that they stick to the cake as well, which is exactly what you want them to do. And then I'm going to take the black writing icing to make the snout. Put 2 little dots here. There you go. 1, 2. And then the eyes with some red writing icing. 2 little pink eyes for the piggy. Good, and here we go. With a nice big smile. And this little piggy went to market. This is one of my favourite snacks. It's called Apple Smiles, and it's something you can have a lot of fun with making with your child. It's from my book, Favourite Family Meals. And the great thing about it is it only takes a few minutes to prepare. So first of all, you take a very red apple and you cut it into thin slices, and then I've squeezed some lemon juice on the slices to stop the apple from turning brown. And then I'm taking some peanut butter, and peanut butter is actually quite good for you. It contains good things like calcium and protein. And what I would do first, I would wipe some of the lemon juice off the apple slice so it doesn't become too slippery, otherwise the peanut butter won't stay on. So there we are, that's one slice, and one over here. So I'm going to use this as my glue. And most children I know in America love peanut butter. It's getting pretty popular over here too. Okay. And then I take some mini marshmallows and I'm going to pop them onto the peanut butter on the apple in a row over here. And then I'll take the slice that I did before with the peanut butter and turn it upside down to sandwich them together. So you get a lovely row of false teeth. Now that's bound to bring a smile to any child's face, I think. And it only took a few minutes to put together. Hi, I'm Annabelle Carmel and I'm in my kitchen in London and I'm going to show you how to make a delicious smoothie. Now smoothies are a great way to get your child to have more fruit in their diet, and fruit's so good for you. And also if your child's old enough, they'll love to help you make these. So this is a recipe from my latest book, Superfoods for Babies and Children. And it's very simple to make. Just watch, it takes just a few minutes. So I'm going to take some fresh raspberries. They're rich in vitamin C, really good for you. And I'm going to pop them in here. And I'm going to add some tinned peaches. I choose peaches tinned in natural fruit juice. And I'm going to blend them to get them into a nice puree. And then I'm going to push them through a sieve. And the reason that I do that is because you don't really want to get the seeds of the raspberries in the fruit smoothie. It's not very nice. So pop them through here. And my little tip when you push things through a sieve is to use the back of a ladle. It's really easy, just gets it through very quickly. Peaches are very rich in vitamin C too. Nice and healthy for your child. Then I'm going to put that back into the blender. And I'm going to add to that some raspberry yogurt, some milk, you can use skim milk if you like, and a little bit of icing sugar. This really depends on taste and how sweet or sour your raspberries were. So let's blend this together. Okay. You can make smoothies from so many different fruits. In the summer, it's really lovely to have a watermelon, strawberry and orange juice smoothie. That is absolutely delicious. But this is one of my favourites because it turns out really good every time. You can have it year round. You can even make it out of the frozen raspberries. So pour that into a glass. So good. Taste that. That is so good. I don't think any child could resist that. And that's good for breakfast, for a snack, or for kids to make themselves. And it's so healthy because it's got calcium and the vitamins from the fruit. It's a really great way to give your child a healthy snack. Cheers. Hi, I'm Annabelle Carmel and I'm at home in my kitchen in London. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about kids in the kitchen because all children love to cook, but not all mums and dads want them in the kitchen because they make a hell of a mess. But it is a life skill, and so I think it's really important that kids do go in the kitchen. So I've written a book all about cooking with kids. It's called the Mama Me Cookbook, and it's got step-by-step photography for every step of the recipe. So this is one of my favourite recipes in the whole book, which is my baked potato mice. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. So first of all, what I've done is I've baked some potatoes for about an hour in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And when they're cool enough, I'm going to cut the top of the potato off and scoop out the flesh. I've got some potato already here in the bowl, so I'm going to add this to potatoes. The great thing about cooking with kids is that when they're cooking, they're actually learning lots of things, all without noticing. And they're learning about measuring and time and counting and hopefully following instruction. And it's a great way of bonding with your child. Because always telling them things they don't want to do, like do their homework and stuff like that, but they actually do want to cook. So if you want your child to be your friend, this is a great way of spending time with your child, and it's much better than sitting in front of a video. Okay, so we've mashed the potato up. Now I'm going to add a little bit of milk, and a little bit of grated cheese, grated cheddar, mash that in, and a little bit of butter. But you can really put anything into this. I do potatoes with chopped steamed broccoli. You can put tuna into potatoes, you can put ham and cheese, so whatever you feel like doing. And children tend to like baked potatoes, and they're better for them than chips. Okay, so when that's all nicely mashed together, I season it with just a little bit of salt and pepper. That should taste really good. And then I'm going to pop it back into the shell. So leave enough around the edge so the whole thing doesn't collapse. It's quite easy to get carried away. And then you don't have a mouse anymore, it turns more like just an elephant. Okay, pop that in there. Okay. And then I'm going to top that with a little of the leftover grated cheddar on top. Now, in reality, I would put that under the grill. It would go lovely and golden brown. But I'm not going to do that for the moment because I just want to show you how to decorate it. Because that's the fun part, and that's the part your child will enjoy, I think, the most. Okay, right. So, the first thing you're going to need is you're going to have a cherry tomato for the nose and some chives for the whiskers. And I'm going to take a toothpick and take 3 little bits of chive, put them together, put the toothpick through them, so they join together. There we go. And then we want to pop the cherry tomato on the end. Something like that. So you end up with whiskers and a nose. Put that in the end. And then I'm going to make ears out of radishes. So I'm going to slice the radishes quite thinly. And make a slit in the potato. So we can pop these little radishes into the potato to make the ears. The other little ear in here like this. And then for eyes, I've got raisins. Put them in here. So not 3 blind mice. Unfortunately, there we go. And then for the tail, if you can find a scallion, which ends up a bit like that, that will be a perfect tail for a mouse. So how's that for making a baked potato into a really special treat? Hi, I'm Annabelle Carmel, and I'm in my kitchen in London. Now, we all know that greens are good for us, but getting children to gobble them up is another game altogether. So I've come up with a couple of recipes to get your children to eat vegetables, but in a slightly different way. One of them is a hidden vegetable tomato sauce. So the vegetables are actually invisible, so children can't pick them out. And the other one is a mini version of a kind of a chicken and potato pie with lots of vegetables hidden into the minced chicken. These 2 recipes are from my book, First Meals, which takes you through feeding your baby and toddler through to family meals. So to make my hidden vegetable tomato sauce, I've sauteed some onion and some garlic in this pan until softened. And I'm going to add the vegetables now. I've got some carrots. It's a really good source of beta-carotene. I've got the greens that they don't like, some zucchini, yeah, and mushrooms. So I'm going to cook these all down with the onions. So the great thing about this recipe is that children love pasta. So if you can put some nutritious food together with the pasta that they love, you're really onto a winner. And I know that children are pretty good at sniffing out disguised vegetables, but these ones are really and truly going to be invisible by the time I've finished. Okay, I'm going to pop them over here, and I'm going to cook them down for about 10 minutes until they're softened. And so this is a great way to hide vegetables from children, and you can use all sorts of vegetables. You could use sweet potato, butternut squash, red pepper. Almost anything will cook down and become a really tasty tomato sauce. And most children love pasta with tomato sauce. So that's simmered down now for about 10-15 minutes. I'm going to get the chopped tomatoes from over here. So to all those yummy or not so yummy vegetables, I'm going to add some vegetable stock and some chopped tin tomatoes and just a pinch of brown sugar, because sometimes tomatoes can be quite acidic, so just adds a little bit of sweetness to that. I'm going to cook that up for about 10 minutes uncovered so it reduces. I'm just going to add a little bit of seasoning, a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And that is going to be the most delicious hidden vegetable tomato sauce. And your child's going to ask for more of that, not knowing that there's loads of vegetables hiding in there. So whilst the sauce is simmering, I just want to give you another idea of what to do to get your children to enjoy eating their veg. Now these are mini chicken and potato pies. And what I've done is I've sauteed some onion, some leek, some garlic, and then I've added some minced chicken. And to that I've added some carrots and celery, and a little bit of tomato ketchup and stock and some fresh thyme. And I've cooked that all down till you get some really yummy minced chicken. And then what I would like to do with that is, instead of making a big pie, because a dollop of pie on a plate can look very unattractive, I take small ramekin dishes and I put the minced chicken into the base of the pie, and then I cover it with mashed potato and I pop it under the grill so they have their own individual portions. And that makes it look so much more attractive and appealing to a child. So it's a really good idea to invest in some of these mini ramekins for making food for your child, and you can pop these in the freezer, so make 4 or 5 at the same time. And you can decorate it to look like your mum and dad. Choose whatever you like. I mean, I think this is very attractive if you've got a redhead mum or a dad who looks a bit boss-eyed. I think it's almost time to get our hidden vegetable tomato sauce. It's been simmering over there. And I'm going to show you how to make these vegetables become totally invisible. That smells so good. And at this stage, if you want to, you could add some fresh basil. So now, what we do with that, because no self-respecting child would eat that with all those vegetables, is we are going to blitz it so that we don't see them anymore. So again, I'm going to use a stick blender. This is a great way of pureeing things without too much washing out. Okay, let's see how that goes. And once it's pureed, if you want to, you can add a little bit of cream cheese or mascarpone, which is a very nice Italian cream cheese. There we go. And that's really simple to do and has a great flavour. It smells so good. And so over here we've got some cooked pasta, and I'm going to pour over this yummy tomato sauce. Did you see any vegetables go into it? I didn't. Did you? How nice is that?
Subscribe now